friends to a podcast that's been described as
emotional
and
terrifying.
One guy even said it was
So awesome it will shock you to the core.
finally another podcast about Godzilla and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, Cass and Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Toho Island. Welcome to the podcast from Toho Island. You can follow us on Twitter at Toho Island Pod. I am Kess, and with me as always is a man who has ice dams. Slick, how you doing?
Yes, we are coming to Snowmageddon and up here in New England, but but that does not deter us from the special episode, a jam-packed episode. We have breaking news, we have movies to talk about, we got fig purchases.
Oh yeah,
we have the OIWF. It's a packed episode.
a jam-packed. It's the works.
It is. It is.
And we got a pretty decent topic to discuss as well. So, but first, we have to really get into it.
Yes, we're drinking a whole bunch of White Claws because there was a football bet that was made.
Oh, okay. So I bet before the season started that Brandon Bolden would not play
10 plays.
I think we landed on 20 plays, 20 plus you win, 10 plays we draw, and below I win.
Yes.
And because we had Sony Michelle, we had James White. This is great podcasting material for a Godzilla show.
Sure, yeah. Well, we're just setting it because we've been drinking a lot of White Claws tonight. That's where we're setting up.
We had plenty of running backs ahead of Brandon Bolden in the standings. So what happens pretty much like the day after, of course, we trade Sony Michelle to the Rams. And so I'm just kind of like, well, I'm not winning this bet now. And then James White goes down. I'm just like, oh, I'm done for now because Brandon Bolden's like number 2, the RB2 for the Patriots now. So I'm losing. So bought us some White Claws. And
yep, we bet a case of White Claws on this. So this is a specially sponsored episode of the podcast from Toho Island, sponsored by Brandon Bolden. Thanks, Brandon.
Just the watermelon flavor of White Claws, though, not that evil
black cherry. But there's a lot of real news to discuss.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I didn't realize we were going to do the Brandon Bolden thing.
I feel like we just kind of had to because I feel like it's a special episode. We got to get everything in. So there's a new Godzilla series or new MonsterVerse series going out,
starring Matthew Broderick and Jean Reno.
Yeah. So, we don't gotta get into like the nitty gritty of the announcement and all that, but it was announced that a new legendary TV series will be launching on Apple Plus of all platforms.
Whatever. I mean, they got to get some big shows too.
Yeah, well, so I was gonna say, it's like doing a little bit more reading about this. It sounds like this is kind of part of like their initiative to get big shows.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll come back to that because I kind of want to talk about like how this like news like rolled out like that day, and so like because we don't know like what the show is, right? It's not very clearly.
No, we have no information,
and
we
so
know it's
like
about a family after the 2014 Godzilla movie.
Right. So when the news first got announced, it was I think Deadline was like the first mainstream outlet that was like carrying was breaking the news about it. And all of a sudden was like, oh, like a family finds out they have ties to Monarch. There's a new MonsterVerse series coming. And there's no really real mention of like Godzilla or like other Titans or whatever. But then like as like Variety comes out and other stuff comes out, they start to reference Godzilla more. They say like, oh, it's a Godzilla and
the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans, but like it's like not really concrete. And then finally like Legendary officially tweets like, this is a Godzilla show and a Titan show.
Yeah.
And then the official Godzilla like Toho account tweets something similar.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a very botched rollout of the announcement. I kind of felt like.
At first I heard it was a spinoff. I think that was the word I originally saw. And I was like, so Godzilla without Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah, I said to you like in our group chat, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like Dollar Store X-Files. This is like what this is like gonna be.
Yeah. So that was really our first reaction to it. But then as more news rolled out, we obviously had to become more optimistic because now they're saying like, oh no, don't worry, like
Right, there's going to be Godzilla and Titans.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm cool with that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like all just Toho stuff. It could be like new stuff. Too.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so to kind of set this up a little bit, it's like what we do know is that it's going to be between Godzilla 2014 and King of the Monsters.
Yes.
And so I was thinking about going like, all right, in King of the Monsters, like they have like that, they keep showing like those screens like on the big ship and stuff like that, where it's like they show all like they have all these Monarch outposts already established, where it's like they're monitoring all these like different monsters and like all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, I was like, I bet like, well, I don't know. What I think it's going to be is like, yeah, we'll probably get Godzilla like here and there, maybe like the beginning of the series, maybe like the series finale.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the middle, it's going to be all these other, or my guess is that it's going to be all these other like original Titans they're created. That's my thought. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, after, if you remember the ending of King of the Monsters, it was all those news clippings of like all the different monsters and stuff.
Right.
So I always thought it was like, oh, like sequels could talk about the Mothra egg that showed up.
But
But
this is before that.
that's what I mean. But that's
Yeah.
what I'm kind of looping back into it.
Yeah.
So King of the next movie had nothing to do with any of that. So I'm just like, oh, well, there's plenty of fucking material to work with, like after King of the Monsters. So surely between that time, it's the same thing, but like nobody knows about it. So like it's super secretive still,
Right.
like the way Monarch was and like Skull Island and stuff.
Right. I feel like it's going to be hard to like maintain the continuity of the movies if you have like, I feel like you can't have Godzilla popping up like in New York or like any other like major city and taking part in any sort of like major
It could
city
be like
stuff.
the late Showa era and just be in the countryside.
Yeah,
no one
like
sees
that's
it.
what's going to be. Like if Godzilla shows up, it's going to be like on an island or like some like really like resort location, but like maybe you can get more out of like,
Or maybe in just an ocean battle.
yeah, it's,
Or maybe he just uses his atomic breath to fly.
he fights a pollution monster out in the middle of an oil monster somewhere out in the ocean. But yeah, like I think it's gonna be like, I think like Godzilla is gonna be like a cameo, and I think it's gonna be like establishing more of these other original IPs. I don't, this is
fine
saying
with
it
that.
now, which
Um,
yeah, I'd be fine with that too.
Like obviously you can't do Rodan, Mothra, or Ghidorah because they weren't really active during those times. But like especially Ghidorah, like
Mhm.
he's in a block of ice, so he's out. Rodan's in the volcano, he's out.
Yeah,
Like maybe there's stuff going on with Mothra, but who knows?
maybe Gabra is just floating around though somewhere.
Right?
That'd be cool.
Just punching.
So
little
here's
guys.
one theory I heard, or not a theory, but like the thing that's been pointed out is that like it's obviously super expensive to animate Godzilla and all these other kaiju, right?
Yeah.
But there's a
But
couple
Asylum
outlets.
finds a way.
Yeah. But there's a couple outlets that said like it was when I was reading about like Apple Plus's like initiative to get all these big budget shows, is that like Apple Plus is like just throwing like crazy money to support these shows. And so I go, all right, well maybe like Apple Plus like wants to view this as like a marquee show to get people to actually like sign up for Apple Plus.
Yeah.
And like so like they'll throw a bunch of money at it. They'll allow you to have like a lot of like giant monster action and stuff. But I looked it up, like, you know, like Apple Plus doesn't do like a month, they don't do like a yearly subscription. They do like a monthly subscription, and it's only like $5 a month.
Mhm.
And I was like, all right. And I was like, well, I would tack this on to a streaming service to like watch this, I guess.
I think, you know, if it's that little and Godzilla's going to be on there, I'm probably just going to suck it up and be like, okay, let's
Yeah.
get my money and I'll watch it.
I think no matter what, it's going to be, this is going to be like a promotional vehicle for a new MonsterVerse movie. Because I feel like this at least confirms that Legendary still has the Godzilla license.
And if they do, like, just spitball, like, who's the foe?
In what, in the next Godzilla movie? If they went like the Toho route, like I feel like it should be like Gigan or something like that.
I was thinking about it, and I'm just kind of like, well, who do the people want to see the most? And
Well,
I
on
think
the
it's-
internet, it's Destroya.
I was gonna say Biolante.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think more
people.
people are into Biolante than Destroya. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I was like, I look at the internet, everyone's like, "Oh, we want Destroyer in the MonsterVerse," and I was like, I don't know, like, how does he narratively fit into the like? Yes, they use like an oxygen destroyer in King of the Monsters, but like, I mean, I don't know. It was like the point of Destroyer was like, it was like, yo, this is like the thing that killed your dad in 1954. It's back, you know, like it doesn't really fit like as well in like the MonsterVerse to me, but
Biollante could work.
Yeah, absolutely. Biollante could work.
If you have Tywin Lannister come back and he generates Biollante.
Or he makes his own Hedorah.
Either one. Both.
Yeah. Give me like a MonsterVerse Hedorah. That would be awesome.
That'd be yeah.
I think the very unconfirmed rumors floating around is that the next MonsterVerse movie is going to be a Kong movie. That's like the very, very unconfirmed rumors.
I mean, we just got one. We've had 2 Kong movies recently.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's about to get an animated series on Netflix, which is probably going to be at the same time that this is going on with Godzilla, so.
I'm not against it, but I'd rather see Godzilla than Kong.
I almost kind of want them to be like in buddy movies together from here on out.
Yeah, you could have like you could have Godzilla and Kong working in tandem.
Yes, I want them to be buddies from here on out.
Yeah.
They're buddies against a MonsterVerse Megalon and Gigan. That's
definitely do like a cursed order type of feud going. Yeah.
Good tease to later in the show.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a new series coming up probably 2023. And
I want to say one last thing is like maybe this is I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but like I actually like the Godzilla 2014 dorsal plates. And I actually hope if Godzilla appears in this show, I hope he has the 2014 dorsal plates and not the more classic design.
Okay. I really didn't notice the plates too much in King of the Monsters, but like I definitely noticed them in 2014. So
I thought it was I mean, I think the classic plates are better, even like when Legendary Godzilla switches them. But I don't know. I like the 2014 ones because I thought it was like it gave that design a little bit more of its own unique look. You know?
Just sharper. And
yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know. And then it was like, okay, we're gonna give you like the classic plates, which is still cool, but yeah. So I hope they come back. Maybe we'll see. Well, I know they did they did a comic explaining why his dorsal plates changed. And I wonder if that gets adapted to the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, like TV shows are known for honoring the source material.
Yep. Yeah, this is Godzilla going to enter like Star Wars style, where it's like there's going to be different tiers of canon, and all those comics are about to be the bottom tier.
Oh man, those Star Wars books.
Yeah. Well.
R.I.P.
Anything else in the TV series before we move to our other big news?
No, I think my closing statement would just be, give it a chance. Don't be so like outwardly negative. Yeah,
it's good to be positive.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to everything that we're probably going to be mixed about. We got some brand new Playmates figures coming.
Oh, we're going to be mixed about this?
Maybe not. I don't know. There was some that looked really good. Some that looked a little.
Are we going to do a ruled sucked with this? Yeah.
So, okay. So I think it was a London toy show. Doesn't really matter, but we got a whole bunch of stuff revealed. So, okay. We got all right, so there's 2 lines. So let's approach this first, like the GVK stuff. So we're getting a whole bunch more of that. And there's like I'm pulling up like the pictures that we were sharing in our group chat now to have it handy. So there's like another Kong coming, but I'm like in all these Kong molds are like the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty, but this one I kind of want.
It's a Skull Island one.
Yeah, he has the well, it's the GVK mold, but he's got the Skull Island propeller.
Yeah, so it could just be a Skull Island Kong.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have to.
But it's literally the same figure we've already had like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you find it, if you could find it in the wild and it's $10, why not?
I want the propeller because that was like the best thing Kong did in Skull Island was like become Scorpion. and then supposedly one of these other Kongs that looks exactly the same as the other Kongs we got is supposed to be the Ocean Battle Kong from GVK. But nothing that I can see from these pictures looks any really different from what we already got.
It's because it's not different.
Like, I mean, it was ridiculous that I have like the regular Kong figure, the Hong Kong Lights figure, but then I also have like the cocaine covered one. And like I bought that because like, well, it's funny, he's covered in cocaine.
Yeah.
So like, but like I don't need like 3 more Kong figures of the same mold with like slightly different accessories. But
The only way I could justify the Sea Battle one is if it comes with like a carrier.
oh, he's like on a giant carrier.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree with that. Accessory is going to be what's going to drive this.
Yeah.
Like the propeller, like I want that because he's Scorpion. He's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat with that thing.
Yeah, it makes it feel more like you need it just because it's a different movie.
Yeah, yeah. Even though again, the mold is bearded Kong from GVK, not like slightly clean shaven young Kong. But that's all right.
Clean shaven?
Not clean. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the beard.
It's not as hairy.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So the thing that I want to be the best
Clean shaven Kong.
is well, what it originally looks like, it's like supposed to be like Burning Godzilla, but like it's then once like the higher res pictures came up, it's supposed to be like Godzilla 2014, but like from like the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's got like these like kind of like weird like burning lighting effects on him.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. Pass. I'll allow it.
Looks cool, but pass.
No, like it passed.
Oh, yeah. My only concern is like
Does not fail.
it's like the head is kind of tilted and looking up, and like that other Godzilla figure where his head is tilted and looking up is fucking horrendous. And I was like, and I hope it's
I
just
find
not
a
like,
use for it.
I just hope it's like not like a slight tweak of that. Like I hope it's like done better.
More effort, yeah. You'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Especially considering the first line of Playmates run. But they've gotten better over time. This looks cool enough and different enough to where I'll allow it. And yeah, if I see it in the wild, I will get it. That's the problem. I just gotta see it at a store.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if I see any of these things in the store, I'll probably buy them. But we also got King Ghidorah.
Yes.
King of the Monsters, King Ghidorah. That looks pretty cool.
It looks pretty similar to the Jax one, but
this one's gonna have battle damage.
I just want it to be able to stand properly. I think that's my number one concern.
Yeah.
And the other concern is just like placement. You know how these Ghidorah figures are.
They're huge. And
it's
the
like
wingspan
Godzilla
looks
figures
huge.
are hard enough to place considering their tails.
Yeah.
But like the Ghidorah ones with the wings, they're even more difficult.
Yeah.
So that's what I want out of these more than anything. Is just like make them stand and not keel over. And if they can be placed like pretty easily without taking up too much space, that's a plus, but not required.
Yeah, that's the it is hard to have a lot of Ghidorah figures on a shelf. And then really some interesting choices. I'll start with doing Godzilla Terrestris from Singular Point.
Yeah.
Totally the most random probably the most random figure, but I noticed like so with these like so they're calling these the Toho series.
Yes.
Like they had the box mock-ups, and I noticed like for Terrestris, it actually has like a different. It actually has the Singular Point logo on it, and it makes me wonder like is this the start of like a Singular Point line? That'd be pretty sweet. I'd be on board with that.
There's enough figures from Singular Point to have a line, so why not?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, is this like where we're gonna get the first like Salunga figure is gonna come from Playmates and not Bandai? But like, I mean, the Terrestris figure looks really sweet. It looks very similar to the Bandai one. It's a cool looking figure. It's so niche that I was just kind of surprised.
Oh,
but
it totally worthwhile. I thought this design was great.
But also, this is the line that gave us Gorosaurus. So why am I surprised?
And that Gorosaurus figure is good.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's great. It looks great.
And same thing for this Godzilla figure. It looks really good. Paint job looks pretty decent from what I could see. These are all blurry photos, so you know, as we get closer to the release, which I think is like July and August.
June, July.
Thank you. We'll obviously get clearer photos of it. But from what I saw, I liked, and I don't have a figure of that, and I'll get it. So
there you go. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it looks very similar to the Bandai figure. And the Bandai figure is awesome. So, but we got to end with Playmates trying to go back to correct past mistakes. Will they do it? This might have to be, we'll have to wait and see when it's in hand, but another Shin Godzilla figure.
Love it. Trying again. I appreciate the effort. From what I could see, it looks like he still has white teeth.
Very white teeth.
Yeah. So,
he's got veneers. He's like Roman Reigns.
yeah, I don't know about this.
And he's looking upwards. I guess that's the new thing with Playmates Godzilla figures, going to be looking upwards.
Maybe they could distract us by having the figure stand very awkwardly.
Which it looks like it's doing.
Yeah. Just like a walking motion.
Yeah, it's like walking, but also like looking upwards and like praying. I don't know like what it's
Walking
doing.
motion. Trying something new, Playmates, huh?
Yeah. And like looking at like now I don't know if these are prototypes or actual production models, but like again, like it's a lot of like shiny black plastic, like as opposed to like something like a little bit more flat. And like there's not a lot of red on it. Like
Yeah.
you need a lot more red on your Shin Godzilla figures.
I figured if they were going to try to redo Shin Godzilla, they'd do it with the beam, where it's more purple. The way NECA did it. Like you have the regular one and then you have the atomic beam one.
Yeah.
They just tried to do a new figure, and I respect it. I'm hoping it's better. I have very low expectations there.
I think it will definitely be better because it can't be worse. Yeah, it's just I do appreciate that. Like we got to go back. We got to go back and redo this. But I don't know.
One of the best Godzilla movies. Like unless you're willing to spend hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars, probably not the best way to get a figure.
Well, the X-Plus stuff, those like statues. I don't consider those like action figures, but like.
Same thing. Like when we're buying these to display them, not to.
I told you in the OIWF segment.
Never mind.
Big look. But
that's what I'm doing anyway. So
yeah,
I could. Playmates and X Plus are in the same category to me.
I'm gonna hold my breath on the Shin Godzilla. I think it's gonna be very fun hunting these down in June and July.
Yeah. As long as I can find them. Like that's all I want. Just
I wonder if like
get them in stores.
So like I wonder if like the Walmart exclusivity on the GVK stuff has like run out. I wonder.
Hope so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Put them in Target for me is just so much better.
Agreed.
They just carry so much more of the stuff I collect.
Yeah.
The Walmart near me is just miserable.
Yeah, all the Walmarts around us are pretty miserable.
Like I collect WWE figures and AEW figures, and the only stuff they ever have is basics. And I'm more of an elite AEW collector.
Not an ultimate, but an elite.
Ultimates too, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't showed you that yet. I showed you off air. Yeah, I collect those, and the Targets around me are always stacked to the gills.
Yeah. Target's about the distribution for whatever reason. So
for whatever reason, I just get so much more luck from them.
Yeah.
So I hope they're in Target.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when the guy from Playmates did the interview with Toho Kingdom, he made it sound like the Walmart exclusivity was ending. So
good.
But I don't know if that meant for like GVK or it meant for like what's going to now be like the Toho series.
Because we've seen the Playmates figures in Walmart's, in Targets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see them in Walmart. I see them in Target all the time.
Yeah.
So I also have like two different groups like working on the Toho series versus the GVK stuff, because the Toho series stuff, like Shin Godzilla to be determined, but like that stuff is like way better like than the GVK stuff. Well, like Gorosaurus, Rodan, 56. Not counting Space Godzilla, not counting Destoroyah.
Yeah, not the first wave, obviously.
This wave is like a lot better. Even the goofy looking Final Wars Godzilla one is better.
If they're redoing Shin Godzilla, I hope they redo.
Oh, Burning Godzilla, that's really good for the most part.
Yeah, bikini Godzilla. But like, I just hope that if they're redoing Shin Godzilla, they redo Destoroyah.
Yeah, I would hope they would also like redo. All you gotta do with Space Godzilla is like he's got a great mold. Give him teeth. Give him teeth and paint him better.
Paint him better is the biggest issue. Because when I saw it in person, I think I got it for you, and I was just kind of like, I don't even want this figure.
He's got a mouth guard instead of teeth.
Well, that's Space Godzilla.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Destroyer. Yeah, he's just a big like brown glob.
That's what I mean. Like I saw it in person, I was just kind of like, I don't have Destroyer, and I'm not. This is not going to be the way I collect the Destroyer figure. This
is not the way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, anything else on the new Playmates figures before we dive into Rebirth of Mothra?
I'm optimistic.
Same. I like where we're at. I feel good about it. I feel like we're always going to get like for every like 2 or 3 good things we're going to get, we're going to get one, oh, that's so Playmates. But that's all right. It makes it a little fun. Makes it a little fun to get one stinker in the line.
Sometimes, the stinkers can
They
rise
get a
to
charm.
the top, like
They get a charm.
like how Shin Godzilla is in the OIWF.
Yeah, exactly. More on that later.
Yeah.
Well, movie time.
Movie time.
All right. So
We've got movie time.
good ref. So we are starting the Rebirth of Mothra Trilogy. We decided off air we're going to work through the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
A movie from 1996. I don't know the biggest setting the table on this, but a couple things to note. This is the last film produced by Tomoyuki Tanaka, who basically produced every single Godzilla movie and produced the first Mothra movie back in 1961, I think it was. But this was the last film that he produced in Toho's Kaiju series. He actually died of a stroke shortly after the movie came out.
Oh, it's too bad.
But I mean, we don't talk too much about like directors, producers. I mean, they're all Shiro Honda, John Fukuda, Tomoyuki Tanaka, Kari Fubi. There was like
Roland Emmerich.
Like there's so many podcasts that like cover all this like backstory into like the directors and producers in the Godzilla series. I just feel we don't really need to kind of drag on that. But I mean, he's part of Shiro Honda. I mean, we wouldn't have what we have now if it wasn't the two of them. So this was his last movie, and he died of a stroke shortly thereafter. So, but a lot of this movie, or not a lot, but some big story beats are actually lifted from the abandoned Mothra versus Bagan project, which was like in the mid-90s. Bagan, I feel like, comes up all the time when we talk about these Hesei movies. But Desghidorah is kind of filling the role of Bagan, and that abandoned script. Bagan was kind of like this like ancient earth god that was awakened by deforestation, and kind of wakes up and kind of like just like Desghidorah does, like kind of consumes the nature around him. But he's not an alien like Desghidorah is. He was like kind of like an ancient earth god, and kind of like the same sort of idea that it's like how we end up with kind of like Mothra Leo in this movie. Like it's going to be like a new Mothra rises like by the end of the movie, except in this one like a larva and a adult Mothra were going to fight big into the end, and then the adult was going to die afterwards. But it's kind of shuffled around a little bit. So that's kind of like the big re-lifting of those old story beats. And Desghidorah was is more supposed to be translated, or was originally kind of marketed as Desghidorah or Desghidorah, but ultimately with TriStar and their dubbing and translation ultimately decided to kind of keep it with Desghidorah, and that's kind of the official name now is Desghidorah, and that's what Toho.
That works.
Yeah, I mean, I think Desghidorah sounds cooler, but Toho decided to copyright Desghidorah, so we get Desghidorah forever. Okay. But obviously marketed towards kids. The Godzilla series is over at this point because we are marching towards Roland Emmerich, who made the rounds this week in the news, but I didn't even really want to talk about that. But this is Toho's Kaiju series for a couple of years. Well, the TriStar series is going on, and it was a pretty successful series, both on the merchandise front and in terms of movie sales. Kids love their Mothra.
Okay.
So, and Mothra has always been very popular in Japan. So this is a very yeah. I mean, Mothra I think is like one of the most famous ones, but Mothra is very popular in Japan, especially in the 90s. So yeah, that's it. So this is a unique situation where neither of us had watched this movie going into this.
Really? I forgot that you said that. Yeah.
I have not watched any of the trilogy because I was always like, oh, it's for little kids. And I just never watched it.
Oh, okay. I've never watched it because I'm not a dork. I'm just kidding. So this is the first time I've seen it, and I'll be honest, my overall opinion was fairly high.
Yeah, actually, I for backstory, like I watched it by myself like earlier in the week. I watched the Japanese dub or Japanese subtitled one, and then we drank our Brandon Bolden sponsored claws, and we I watched it with you tonight, where we watched the English dub. So I watched this twice in 4 days, and I enjoyed watching it twice in 4 days.
Yeah, I just watched it the one time, and I'm just, I feel pretty great. So it wasn't bad. Obviously not geared towards my age group, my demographic.
Yeah.
Obviously geared towards kids, like you said. I stumbled on that one. Take a shot. But for the most part, like, this was pretty decent.
This is an enjoyable little romp.
Yeah.
We got a loveless family. That's kind of the centerpiece of
this.
It's
a very riffable movie. First thing we noticed was like when the dad comes home and the mother had the lock on the door, and like, oh, you're home. Like they never look each other in the eye. If there's no eye contact, there's just no love there.
Yeah.
Zero chemistry.
Yeah. So one thing this movie tries to do is try to portray themes of family, because we got they're not the Shobajit anymore. They're the Elias twins or sisters now.
Elias.
Yes, sorry, the Elias sisters now, and then the Rita Rapunzel of the movie is their other sister Belvira.
Yeah,
and they kind of say like towards the end of like this, like, well, I think we'll revisit this because of how ridiculous it is, but they're like, oh, like we love like our sister even though she's a troublemaker. What a scamp, trying to bring about the end of the world. But we got these like brother and sister who always fight and supposedly hate each other. We get this husband and wife who like seem like they can't stand each other, but somehow towards the end they're all kind of in a better place, but they're just kind of in a better place. Nothing like really.
I never saw any eye contact.
Yeah, I think if anybody's still in shaky ground, I think it's definitely the husband and the wife.
The brother and sister definitely like come together.
Yes.
And work together towards
Yes.
the end. They have their parting of the ways, so to speak, on some subjects, like continuing to walk or not. But overall, they come together better. But like I said, there's definitely an element of like they're together for the kids.
Oh, absolutely. So at the beginning of the movie, the father's away in Hokkaido. He's like working away at some like, I don't know what they are. I mean, like they're not like a lumber company. I don't know what. It's not like really clear to say what they are. They're just, I don't know, a company that chops down forests.
They were definitely a lumber company.
I mean, were they? They just seem like we're just like, I don't know, we're just chopping down forests.
Yeah, they were sapping the area of its natural resources. They were doing the same thing that Desghidorah was doing.
That's true. He actually was probably their employee of the month.
They were competitors.
Actually, that's true. They probably should have offered him a competitive 401k.
Yeah.
But or matching plan. But so like the father comes home, or first the father says he can't come home. The mother's screaming at him. And then like when he does come home, he gets out of his taxi. He's like crushing a beer when he gets out of this is like I like died laughing, or I think we both did. Like he gets out of his taxi, he's crushing a beer, gets in the house like after like he's been like locked out, or not locked out because she didn't know he was coming home. Crushing a beer as soon as he gets in, and then he's like sitting like in his daughter's bed. He's like giving this like rare Mothra artifact, which I want to go back and point out. You find a weird fossil artifact while you're deforesting.
To take it out.
Yeah, so you pull it up with a screwdriver and then you put it on a chain to give your daughter. But then he's like just sitting in bed going like, I'm gonna just drink a beer in here while I'm.
And it's a bunk bed, and he's up top.
Yeah, I was like, "What is this fucking?"
This man
family?
is a menace.
Yeah, this is. Good luck to these kids.
Yeah.
Good luck. Great. Thank God, Mothra intervened. Not these kids.
So like even before he gets to the kids' room, like when they're downstairs, he's like shuffling through all the shelves, and like they don't look at each other. And that's when at first I was like, "This is the most awkward scene to look at." Like. It makes me uncomfortable to see two people behave this way.
Yeah, it's they clearly do not seem to like each other. They also live like it's like so the morning after he comes home. Remember there's like that part like the mother is like kind of walking out in like the living room and she's like, "Darling, wake up," or something like that. And he comes springing out of like that weird loft they have.
Right.
There's like you have to access by a ladder.
Yeah.
Like
just an awkward home.
But also there's like golf clubs up there. And I was like, oh, that's where he sleeps. Cause she probably sleeps in like a real bedroom. And he's like Milhouse's dad who like sleeps in a race car.
I have a race car. Oh, I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Yeah. It's like, that's totally what's going on here. It's like he sleeps in the lot. He's like his like treehouse.
And yeah, it's just So this is a very weird family.
Yeah.
A very awkward dynamic we've walked into. But yeah, the dad just like thinks nothing of it, smashes this this ancient artifact, takes the seal, and then he sees like the hole going through, and is kind of like, I will think nothing of this, and just walk away and give this to my daughter. And
and that gets the attention of it's Laura, Mona, and Belvira.
Yeah,
the three. And so like now they all come seeking after the seal, and Belvira just instantly mind controls the sister, throws the brother around shining. So that leads to the other scene that fucking killed us. Where it's like after after Belvira invades the house looking for the seal, she mind controls the sister, beats the kid up a little bit, like has the sister beat up her brother a little bit, and then he like leaves to go to school, and he's kind of like shell shocked, and he's kind of like hanging out like on the sidewalk, and his friends come up going like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Waiting for my sister," and then one of the kids who has a soccer ball boots it right in his face. Now, some of those like net things.
Yeah, it's tied to like a string.
Yeah, but still, he boots it right in his head.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is a scene that I totally believe, because this is how children behaved in the 1990s.
Oh, 100%. When we played soccer, we had those like balls in the net. Of course, you're punting those at each other.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah. I specifically remember doing something like that. So.
Probably me. But he no sells it, because I think that is like just shit kids did to each other back then.
Yeah.
But then he goes home back to find his sister, which leads to him like a mind controlled dog chasing up the tree, and then we get like the first extremely long fight scene of the movie.
It's so long.
Yes. This is the critique of this. It's an hour and 46 minutes long, this movie.
And it's like the fight scenes, like sometimes people are just kind of like, the fight scenes are too short, blah, blah, blah. This is the opposite. They're too long. There's too much of it.
Yeah.
And it's from the 90s, so it doesn't look great. It's just kind of like that, like weird, like, it's like that weird uncanny valley thing where you're still way below it. So it's so unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not, for the most part, it's not CGI, but it's kind of like a lot of like map backgrounds or use of Mac backgrounds. And, I don't know if that's the actual technical term, but yeah, it's like you get Mothra, you get the Mothra fairy and the Elias sisters like chasing Belvira around and like shooting beams at each other. Like, it must be at least like 10 minutes.
Had to be.
Yeah. It felt like eternity. It's fine. It's just
it just goes on way too long. They smash a baby grand piano. And I was just like immediately like, that's like $40,000 like down the drain.
Yeah, that really perturbed you right there.
It bothered me. I used to work in a piano spot for a short amount of time. I went there to give guitar lessons and wound up building a studio for them.
Well, there you go.
So I was just like,
so you can appreciate the damage that was done in the scene.
But yeah, you go around, you play those pianos, because I play piano too, and like those things were money. They were very, very expensive.
Well, not when Mothra's fairies come to town. They
just blew the leg out.
Yeah,
falls to the ground.
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, terrible truck. Terrible truck. They trash the house, and then we move on to like the next like, I guess Act 2 of the movie is the initial Mothra Desghidorah segment.
Yeah, so this movie kind of introduces Desghidorah just like almost out of nowhere. It's just like when I'm gonna call her Velveeta, but it's Belvedere. When she gets the seal, like she basically like flies away after that big long
I think about what you said for a second.
And that's when Desghidorah comes out.
Yeah,
and pretty cool. Like you got your 3-headed Kaiser Ghidorah looking monster, but it's like gray.
So we were kind of talking about this one, or I was kind of saying this. The movie was kind of going on offline. It was like, I think Desghidorah looks better than Kaiser Ghidorah does.
Yeah,
from a execution standpoint.
Yeah, I think it's a cool design. It could definitely be brought back in current day, but
you need to play Godzilla Battle because he's.
I did download it.
You're halfway there, so. There could be more on that in the coming week. So, but I'll stop there. But yeah,
it's a cool design though. I liked it as a the big enemy is just a new version of King Ghidorah.
Yeah, it's cool that we have like it's Ghidorah but not Ghidorah, right?
Right.
This is almost kind of like, this is such an awful comparison. It's almost kind of like how like you want a Boba Fett, you got the Mandalorian, but except the Mandalorian may actually be cooler than Boba Fett. But
you also it reminds me of Mortal Kombat, where it's just like you have Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile.
Oh yeah,
Noob Saibot,
yeah.
Smoke. They're just kind of reskins. That's almost what this is. It just changed up a little bit to where it's like its own monster.
Yeah,
but it's very similar.
I think this could be a hot take. I actually think as we sit in 2022, I think maybe King Ghidorah is maybe slightly overused. I don't think he was as overused at this point in time, and so I thought it was like nice to kind of get like not Ghidorah as like a villain. Yeah. Because it was like, now it's like, I just feel like any new Godzilla thing that comes out, you're just going to assume that like King Ghidorah is just going to pop up at some point in some shape, way, or form. And so, which is fine. I like Ghidorah a lot. It's just, I think we're like it's like almost like mandatory that Ghidorah has to appear and stuff. Whereas like back then, wasn't so much. And I was like, the fact that we didn't get Ghidorah, we got like his cousin. That's cool.
Yeah.
But, as we're going to watch the rest of this trilogy, spoiler, he's around. So
he's always watching.
Always watching. But yeah, I thought the design was cool. I like it.
And then you get a very long Mothra versus Desghidorah fight.
Yeah, but that didn't bother me. Like
it was better than the house fight.
The house fight like bothered me for how long it went. This was like fine with me because it was like I was well booked. Connie, I thought I was well booked.
It was fine.
It
just went, like I said, it's just a little long, but this one was better.
Yeah,
overall.
I thought it was good. Like this had like in a story arc to it. It's like, Mothra's old and dying. Mothra, like they established that like Mothra had put Desghidorah like in the earth like 1 million years ago, and so like it's
but
like
there were multiple Mothras helping out. At
yeah,
that point.
right. But it's like they have a history, at least the two of them, and then it's like, Mothra goes on to be Mothra Leo. It like breaks out the egg to like do the run in, the babyface save, or at least try to anyway, but clearly overmatched.
Yeah, but like the larva Mothra has like a belly beam,
yeah, which is so ridiculous.
I thought it was cool though, like,
and a rainbow sparkling web attack,
right? And so you got like Mothra with like electric beams. You get the larva with the green belly beam.
Yeah.
And it just looked really cool. Like, I don't know, they did a good job with this.
Yeah. Again, I thought it was good because like there was
you
a story.
The Megalon Dam.
Yeah, you get the Megalon Dam spot. Also, we haven't done Gamera versus Baragon, but there's a similar spot in that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, dam spots are big in monster movies. Yeah, no, it was good because like it was like there was story to this. It was long, but like there was story to it. It was like Mothra's old and dying. And like Mothra Leo is like young and like rushing into battle and then gets like the motivation like because OG Mothra like eventually succumbs to her wounds.
Yep.
But also we get some like sweet, like I was saying, like it was like this is fucking dark for a kids movie because like Desghidorah like picks up the larva and like bites it and it's like bleeding everywhere and shit. And I was like, oh my god.
Definitely not past around here nowadays. That would be like, oh no, you can't do that. You got to cut that out. Yeah,
it just seemed that's not for me, brother.
Yeah.
It just seemed like particularly like brutal for like a monster movie that's geared towards kids to have that.
Sure, but it looked cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Desghidorah like throws it.
Yeah.
second spot only to the Titanosaurus field goal.
Oh, Godzilla. Yeah, that's fantastic.
But second to that is Desghidorah tossing the Mothra larva, Mothra Leo. Excuse me. Yep, take a shot.
But they never say Mothra Leo in this movie. I think I think actually, I remember like when this came out, I think everyone was just referring to that Mothra as Rainbow Mothra. But I think Leo is the name.
We are the experts.
Leo is who we get for the trilogy. That's what we got. So then we get to the third act where I don't know, there's a little bit of a come down afterwards where it's like Mothra dies, Leo's got to go
the dad gets blamed for all of this. And rightfully
Yeah.
so. He did cause it all. I mean, but the guy was a little out of line, saying he knew what he was doing. He clearly did not know what he was doing.
Yeah, he was mind controlled. Literally mind controlled.
Oh, when he drove the thing, sure. But I'm talking about when he let the
Oh
seal
yeah,
out.
but that 2-bit reporter had no fucking clue that he did that. He was just, talking about, who's you blew up the thing that let Desghidorah out. Also, one thing we need to highlight with the watching the dub tonight is that, like, this is what I hate about the 90s dubs. Everybody yells their lines.
Hey, it's Tokyo.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, they're just like, Tokyo's on the phone.
Yeah.
But like this one, they're like, hey, Tokyo's on the phone.
Yeah, it's exaggerated here.
If you like came into a room and like said that to me, I'd be like, all right, dude, well, what's your problem?
Right. And rightfully so.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, well, thanks, dude, chill out a little bit.
Right.
But so, yeah, and then we get, I don't know, the third act is like weird because it's just like, yeah, we get the hospital scene where they blame him.
And then same thing. They have this movie kind of follows the John Romero's Night of the Living Dead, where there's a lot of TV broadcast interruptions to advance
the plot, yeah.
And they use that same thing here. And then like, oh yeah, by the way, Desghidorah can finally fly now. And so Desghidorah is like, there's like a quick blink, and he has wings now, and he's flying around. And that's
Yeah.
when we get the final fight between Mothra Leo and Desghidorah. And again, it's just, you get Mothra Leo with all these new powers, just sort of
OP'd.
OP.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Kind of whipping some butt.
Yeah.
And
Which was cool. It was badass. It was cool.
It just has like this very happy music to go along with it too.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as it happens, I was like, all right, so here comes the mid-90s like happy music. To
Yeah.
just show that the good guys are winning.
When I was, especially when we were watching it tonight, so being the second time we saw it this week, like, there's like a scene where the Elias sisters go like, it was like, oh, like, Mothra was going somewhere to like, turn into a moth. Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Like, none of us really know. And then there's like kind of like again, the padding of this movie, like stuff that you don't need, like a long montage of Mothra Leo, like getting to like where he's going to like cocoon. But I thought it'd be funny if like, cause you actually called it, you're like, it was like, oh, I bet there's a musical number coming up. And of course there was, but I thought it would have been better if you cut the musical number. But as Mothra Leo is going to that spot, you take that song "Somewhere Only We Know" by Keen from like back in like the late 90s. I think that song came out. It was a nice like cheesy little pop song that I feel like would have been super fucking funny to be like over that montage of Mothra Leo going there. That's all I can think of in my head.
I have to listen to it. I think I know what you're talking about, but you've been making some pretty like off the cuff references tonight that I'm like, I know what you're talking about, but I just haven't thought about it in decades.
It's the Brandon Bolden clause, I guess.
Which, by the way, this was just to supplement that was offensive plays only. So I said special teams.
Oh
does not
yeah,
count.
right. Well, it didn't matter to me because he
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. I was like, he'll play more than 20 special teams for sure, but like he won't on the offense, and I was so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had like 4 offensive touchdowns, I think, in the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so like, I don't know, Leo was like badass. I thought Leo was badass. I was like, all right, I'm on board now.
Good
Like,
stuff.
It was a one-sided squash. It was
Yeah.
a squash, bro.
It was, if you consider the first fight and the second fight all one match, it's kind of like when like Jerry Lawler takes his straps down.
Yes,
Or a Hulk Hogan
yes.
hulks up.
I think it's better to consider it one fight because it feels like one fight.
Yeah. So when that happened, it's sort of like when the babyface sort of hulks up and does their finish and wins.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And, we got like the cool new '90s edgy Mothra. I kept calling it Mountain Dew Extreme Mothra.
It's Tude Mothra. Everything has attitude. At
It's
this point.
skateboards.
Yeah.
It should be like Mothra X for Mothra Extreme.
Mothra X.
Yeah,
would have.
That's
totally
what
been the
that's what it
90s.
should have been.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been. But I don't know. I thought it was. I don't know. I never knew anything about Mothra Leo. I do know. Like what Leo does, like the series goes on, gets like even more like ridiculous as the trilogy goes. But still, I was like, all right. I was like, I'm on board with all this. Like, cool design, looks cool. It's like this kind of like
New colors.
yeah, it's a fresh new look, fresh new take on Mothra.
Mothra had like the Reese's Pieces colors going on before, and now Mothra has like green and black and red.
Yeah, it's a little edgier for the kids.
Yeah.
He's gonna be listening to him and have those posters on his wall in no time. But yeah, like, I mean, I remember going, like, I was like, every scene he has like a brand new power. It's like beams are flying out of like all sorts of different places, like in every scene.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fine. It was cool.
He becomes like typo negative butterflies. And then,
Oh yeah, that's right. He like dissolves into butterflies at one point to be like an attack. And I was like, what does that do? Like, I was like, what is the point of that? But I don't know. It was, it was like ridiculous, but it was like fun. I don't know. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
and then Mothra Leo, after defeating Desghidorah, flies over the sucked out land and, brings it back to life.
Yeah.
So there's greenery everywhere.
So that's another thing. No, not one single building is destroyed. in
Low
this
body
movie.
count.
Yeah, or I mean, you pointed out probably 0 body count.
0 body count, probably. If anyone was killed, it was like a worker, like a nameless worker. Who cares about the
They don't have any
working class?
families anyway.
Yeah.
But I said, sadly, probably a lot of squirrels were killed.
Sadly, yeah. But now there is, Mothra Leo brought back the area, so now there's plenty of room for.
Well, I hope the squirrels came back too.
Yeah.
But there was like, I think we both kind of laughed at the end. Is like, at the end of the movie, like Belvira is like kind of, running away, and they all kind of corner her and stuff like that, and they just like kind of like let her escape after she goes like, "Oh,
Also, like
humans are gonna betray you, sisters."
The little tiny dragon she's riding just turns out that it's a robot.
Yeah, that it actually got like, I kind of like that robot dragon thing, and I thought it was cool. And then it was like, when it was a robot, I was like, oh, that's too bad. I hope it comes back.
I was like, I think that's weird though. That it's just like, why does it have like the organic outing? Like, just have it be like a cool robot looking thing. Like,
I thought it was a nice touch of like when like the broken robot's like on the ground and like she actually like stops, like kind of like pet its head before she like, nearly gets blown up. And I was like, oh, I was like, she does have a soft side.
Yeah.
And I legitimately do not know the answer to this question. Like, so this is not like me playing podcast, but it's like, I was like, I wonder if like over the course of this trilogy, at some point she becomes like tweener babyface at some point. Because I do. All I know is that she's in all 3 movies, but I legitimately know very little about what happens in these other movies. And
she's like Bowser in Mario RPG.
Yeah,
Smithy comes down,
exactly.
and so Bowser has to team up with Mario to get his castle back.
We're gonna find out as we watch these next 2 movies now in a row. So like, I'm actually curious to know where she. All I know is she's around.
So you're invested.
Yeah, I'm invested. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm invested. Yeah, but it was like, I thought it was like funny. It was like, she just tried to release like Desghidorah on the world, and at the end of this, like, they just like let her escape, and she was like, "Oh, you guys, she's our sister. She's a troublemaker. What a scamp.
What a scamp.
What a scamp."
She's such a card.
And they're like, "Oh, all right, your sister."
I guess maybe that
all
decision
right.
is why we have 2 more movies then.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I think that might wrap it up for
Agreed. Yeah.
Mothra Rebirth of Mothra.
Yep.
Well, whatever it says at the intro title card, which you pointed out was not accurate.
It literally just says Mothra.
Okay.
It just says Mothra.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, it was released as Rebirth of Mothra. But yeah, it literally just says Mothra on the title card.
So I think I went with first last time. Rank this one.
Yeah. So 1 star as a jobber, 5 stars main eventer. I was almost going to make a Royal Rumble reference, but this episode's coming out after the Royal Rumble, and we don't know who won. So 5-star means you're going on to face Brock Lesnar or Becky Lynch from WrestleMania.
So congratulations, Glacier.
Yeah. So I'm not. I'm going to 3-star it. I was entertained more than I thought I was going to be. The fact that I watched it twice in like a handful of days and enjoyed it both times. And now, like, I'm curious to know where it goes. Yeah, I'm going to 3-star it.
I think 10-year-old Kess gives this 3 stars. I think 37-year-old Kess. I'm going to go 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a little more cynical than you. As good as this movie I thought like visually looked, with the battles scenes, there was visual stuff that did not look good. Didn't connect with any of the characters. I thought their dynamic was weird and uncomfortable. It did not sparkle. It did not bring me joy. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about any of the human characters. I am more interested in seeing the story of the Elias sisters and Belvira playing out.
Yeah. There was stuff I liked. Don't get me wrong. Desghidorah is awesome. The Mothras were awesome. Didn't have a problem with their powers and stuff. Whatever. I just was kind of meh.
Yeah, I agree.
I was more enjoying the experience of watching it with you and drinking these Brendan Bolden White Claws.
Yeah, no, I think that definitely helped because I think I was originally going to this like as a 2-star, but then as I rewatched it, I was like, like if this wasn't so long in some parts, like that's the thing is like the house scene of the house fight scene, like trim that down like 3 minutes
or more.
It's like in like maybe like trim like a couple minutes off of like Mothra Leo going to like regenerate, and then like there's some
Cut
scenes in the middle.
Numbers.
Yeah, keep one. Do the Mothra
song.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Do that. Cut the rest.
Yeah,
and then because we like
because then you could get it down to about 90 minutes at that point.
Yeah, and now we're talking about a much better feeling.
I would give it a 3 if it was under 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you could even cut a little bit more. It's like when like the family's kind of wandering through the forest, like in the middle after like Desghidorah appears.
Scenes, yeah.
Yeah, like you could trim that down a little bit and like I don't think you would lose anything of like the impact or the narrative. It's just like, but I think you would have a much better paced story going on. And it'd be I would have a much different opinion of the whole thing.
So as Kevin Nash would say, yeah, use a 2, but like a good 2.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean like for me, like when I rate a movie a 2, I kind of go like, nah, this is like kind of bad. Like 3 is like kind of like for me personally, it was like I was like, yeah, it's all right, it's fine.
It's a 3. It's a 3, like I said, if you're a kid.
Yeah,
it's a better movie if you're younger. As old, cynical, broken down, beaten, just finished 37-year-old Cass.
You were the wrestler by the Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. But like, yeah, you can probably skip this one if you're an adult.
The fact that I'm looking forward to watching the next 2 movies means this movie did something right. So I think that's how I got to the 3. That's how I got there. I was like, I want to see the rest now.
Fair.
Yeah,
I want to see the rest too, so that's why we're doing them in order. It's also I'm intrigued to see if we could do something in order and if it's better than if we just do our normal random stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
Because we usually jump around. We did kind of stick with it with the Zone Fighter stuff, but we did interrupt it for Kong Christmas.
I will say this: this is 1,000 times easier on me than doing the Zone Fighter ones, which I am shocked that I am saying that. But like the Zone Fighter thing was like my idea, and then it was like we got into it, and I was like, "What have I done?"
That's so the Zone Fighter for you is like the Peter Jackson's Kong for me, where I'm like thinking I'm going to enjoy it, and I did not.
Well, like Zone Fighter wasn't like awful, but it was like I've just been watching so much like Ultraman stuff like over like the last like couple of years, like especially during the pandemic, and I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be like close to that, like even if it's like half as good. And I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I was like, this is nowhere near as good. Like, and like this has got Godzilla in it.
I've seen a few Ultraman episodes, not a lot, but
I've only shown you Ultraman Leo.
Yeah,
and,
like 4 or 5. I've watched a few on my own on Tubi, and but like I know there's a dip in quality from Ultraman to Zone Fighter.
Yeah,
a noticeable dip.
Yeah, it's just boy, it was like.
But like if like quality is the only thing you watch stuff for, then then skip Zone Fighter. But like if you just like watching the niche like giant monster stuff, then yeah, watch it.
I don't know why there's even a dip in quality, because I mean like they both have the same things that make Ultraman really cool and which should make Zone Fighter really cool. You got like very athletic like karate like masters basically like right. in these like suits that allows them to like do all these flips and like cool martial arts like type attacks and stuff like you can do all that. Like clearly whoever played Zone Fighter was like a very athletic like person who could carry like the same sort of fights. Like the dudes that play Ultraman, it's like they're doing like wild stuff in those suits, and it's like, and they're fighting against like not super mobile kaiju, but like they're basically they're like Shawn Michaels. They're like they can work with a broomstick, and it's like, but for whatever reason, like it doesn't work in Zone Fighter for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know why. It just doesn't.
Like, it's just our personal opinion too. It doesn't mean it's factual.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Just how we observed it, you know.
Yeah. Just I don't know. I didn't get it. Zone Fire didn't work for me. I wish it did. I wish it did. But it just and I ended up watching it. Like I was like, oh my god, like what are we doing here? But anyway, that's that.
I just took a big swig of this delicious watermelon White Claw.
Yeah.
The hero of the episode.
Well, on that note, we'll be back with Figure Talk.
Hey, you got any figs?
I did. Did you?
I actually did.
Yeah. You haven't for a while. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll pick it up so I can hold it in front of me while I talk about it. And if you want a more in-depth review, you can visit friend of the channel, Shin Rob Jira on YouTube.
Friend in real life, as I awkwardly said at the start of our last podcast with them.
Sure. Yeah, I like him. He's a friend. Friend, period.
I was like, Rob, we should get a place.
Yeah,
It was funny. It was a good awkward joke.
It's not like a Champ Kind situation for me.
That's what I was playing off of, though.
I'm sort of like a Brian Fantana type of situation for me. So got the darker Atomic Breath Apex Mechagodzilla from Playmates.
It's called. Oh wait, it's right over there. Battle Mechagodzilla.
Battle Mechagodzilla, sure.
With Proton Scream.
It's pretty much exactly like the other figure that you have, except it's darker and it has an Atomic Breath.
Yeah, I think it's cooler because it's got like almost kind of translucent fins going on.
Almost, they're not quite, but
yeah.
Like it's still pretty solid red, in my opinion. But
it's
like the tail is very bendy.
Yeah.
The joints are very loose, so it's very hard to get this guy to stand. Unfortunately, still.
But I do like the articulation because like it's all like ball joints.
Yeah.
So like you get all sorts of stuff going on. I do like that it's funny that like the Proton Scream is it is just the breath that Godzilla comes with, except painted red.
Yeah, and it's like translucent like the fins almost, but it's still pretty solid red. Overall, I give this an A. It's one of Playmate's finest figures. Yeah,
definitely. I think one thing that I definitely like about this over the I think I liked the Bandai one better. But now I think I've actually come to like this better because of how articulated this one is. I just wish I could stand a little bit better because like the feet are like rubber. So so like it gets a little top heavy sometimes.
Right. All the weight is in the body. So like getting this guy to stand, take a shot, is a little difficult. But overall, I really like this figure. It's made well, looks great. Solid A. I like the Bandai one too. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I prefer the way that one's painted, to be honest.
Agreed. Yeah.
But overall, that's more of a statue, and this is more of an action figure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Very posable.
Very, very posable. The Atomic Breath fits right in. So if you jostle it around like I am and falls out, you can just put it right back in.
Yeah.
No problem. So there's not the NECA issue with sometimes the Atomic Breath falls out and it's very difficult to get it to sit right again. This is very well done. So yeah, solid figure. Definitely recommend it if you can find one. Yeah, kudos, Playmates. Let's see if you can keep it up. Yeah, hopefully they can. I'm optimistic. What about you? I said offline. Well, I don't have it yet, but normally I don't say what's in the mail. But I think it's safe to say that I bought the rest of the Rebirth Trilogy on Blu-ray, so that's fine. I do have 2 other things in the mail, and I need one to come because it's actually holding up my OIWF plans, and I need one of these things to arrive soon. But it is coming from a shipper in Mexico, and the seller did hit me up and goes like listen, like Mexico Post like takes a while, and he's been right on point. He was like, listen, this is going to take like about 3.5 weeks to get to you, and that based on the tracking, that seems to be about what the case is. But it is. So I'm booking my OIWF plans around it. More details come on that. I also have another really sweet thing that I ordered that I hope will be coming in the next couple of weeks. Cool.
So we'll see. But I did get, I guess I'll call it a grail piece. Like you also have it. I got the repainted Trendmasters Anguirus figure. We call it the WrestleMania attire here on this pod.
It's a really cool blue figure.
Yeah, it's like Trendmasters Anguirus, who is on the juice without a doubt. But he's like kind of bluish, purplish, like fantastic looking figure.
There's some green in there too.
Yep. Yeah, he's like a little turquoise thing going on. I don't know. That like Trendmasters Anguirus design is like the coolest thing ever. I just fucking love it. Yeah. It's so now I have that. I have the unreleased Doom Island figure. I think the only things I'm missing from Trendmasters is supposedly like there's like a hatchling Anguirus that comes like out of an egg that I think we talked about in our history of that Trendmasters line, which I have never seen in the wild or as far as I know even exists. And I think there's also like a squeaky Anguirus Trendmasters figure also that I have not known to actually exist outside of bootlegs. So it'd be cool to complete that. That'd be cool.
Well, I'm glad you got the blue boy.
Yeah. That's looks great. Looks great with the other ones. Yeah. So in the OIWF, he'll make appearances for big matches, I think.
Yeah, and I display those figures with my NECA figures, meaning I think they're better than pretty much everything else. They're more statuesque, so not as much articulation. But
no articulation on those Anguirus ones.
Right, but they still look very cool.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of trumps articulation is just the visuals.
Doom Island Anguirus is very articulated, but again, that was like an unreleased figure. So
right.
I use that one for the hardcore matches, the OIWF apparently.
That stack of dimes he calls a neck.
Yeah, what did Miro say? Body granite, but neck of sand.
Yeah,
that's kind of what that figure's got going on. But I thought it was like funny that like the super rare like unreleased figure I get, and immediately the first week I have it, I put it in a hardcore match in the OIWF. That was pretty funny.
But yeah, I didn't get anything else. But hopefully June, July, this segment sort of heats up. But right now, it's
because we'll be hunting.
Yeah,
we'll be hunting.
We'll be hunting. I get that itch, that figure itch. But really, I mean, like I have enough other interests that keep me busy. I got like 3 WWE figures since the last episode we did, so I'm always getting more of those. So it's like, oh, Chris never buys figures. No, I'm definitely accumulating.
I got some. I got some micro brawlers. I got a Axe and Smash Demolition micro brawler. That was cool.
Yeah, like I got like a Jason Friday the 13th 3D figure. I got a Ultimate Edition Kane. And our boy Donovan Dijak.
Oh yeah,
we used to watch down the street.
Local hero.
But even still, I got like more figures than that too.
But with the like what you said, like where with all these Playboy figures coming out, like even though like you could just go like on eBay or wherever and like buy these things, regardless of like them being inflated prices or not, it's so much more fun going out and trying to find them.
That's what was so disappointing about like the NECA line going away. Is just like it's really hard to like I started picking up like horror NECA figures just to like keep that alive because I enjoyed it so much.
There was a thrill to like hunting in the wild.
Like I don't know if you were there, but like we were at our friend Paul's. He has like a backyard fire pit. We were just like sitting around having a few drinks like around the fire pit. And I just like left to go to Target to pick up like just to see if there was a figure there, and there was. So I bought a figure and came back and hung out more. Like that's
I was there for that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the like what I miss most about the NECA fit line was that, like there was always new ones coming out, so you could just go to a store and like see what they had.
Yeah,
and not so much anymore. But
yeah, we're in a lull. We're in a little bit of a lull, but it looks like
it's just weird because it's like the most Godzilla stuff ever is like out, but like the fewest figures.
Yeah. It's like it comes in such like a small wave. Like it's not like we talk a lot about like wrestling figures where it's like, when you get a new wave, it's going to be like 5-6 figures at a time. Godzilla stuff comes out like like the last Playmates wave was Rodan and Gorosaurus. Like that's what we're going to get. Like it's like a wave, and so it's
that was months ago now.
Yeah, and so it's like again, it's not. I mean, wrestling figures and stuff like that. Like that's a much more bigger market. But I hope like we get. I mean, this like the like FYE has like Now, granted, I'm not rushing out to get any of these things, but it's like Godzilla chocolate bars and hot sauce and stuff like that. Did you see that? Like that's
I
coming.
did see the hot
Yeah,
sauce,
and I was like, all right, well, that's cool. Like you get a lot of companies like making Godzilla merchandise right now, but like, but I don't know. I always feel like you don't need to get every little thing, you know, like. Even though like I don't get like the Funko Pops and all that stuff. Like I get a few, I get a few, but like I don't get them all.
I got one just because I saw it. And it was $9. So
yeah,
like,
right,
sure,
right. Like I'm not like this is like it's like I want figures. Like that's what I want. I want figures.
I'm more into like the realistic figures anyway. Like I'm not into like the cutesy stuff. Like I get that there's a huge market for it, and
I want bad clips.
Yeah,
I want more bad clips.
Like you like cutesy stuff a lot more than I do. But like, and I get that there's like a market for it and people like it. So by all means, knock yourselves out, have fun. Like for me, like I preferred like the NECAs because they were like pretty spot on like how they looked. So,
I agree. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like if you look around, like I'm more of like the statuesque like wrestling figures and not so much like the action figures meant for playing. It's more about like posing them in like fun positions. Like I have the Rock like with the microphone doing like the like thing.
Yeah.
Just like it's enjoyable to see. I like the more realistic figures.
Yeah, I do too, but I want something like unique too. Like when FYE goes like, oh, we're gonna launch our own Godzilla line, and it's like candy bars and hot sauce, and you're like, well, I don't know, I don't care about this like weird hot sauce you got somewhere that you're just like slapping a label on, like, you know, even though I don't really go for the Funkos, at least I go like, well, that's like kind of unique. I mean, I bought a few, you know.
Like if I see them, like I will pick them up, no problem. But like, I'm not gonna like seek them out.
Yeah, exactly. Like when NECA's like going like, hey, like you know. But at first I was like, oh, this is awesome. We're not getting any 1933 stylized Kong stuff. Now I would argue maybe we have too much 1933 Kong stylized stuff from NECA. But either way, I'm like, oh, like this is sweet. Like this is like what we need more of. Fill these voids.
There needs to be like a divergence from Kong, like maybe like the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Like Gorgo, like there needs to be more of like a diverse offering.
Yeah, and if it's not like, I mean, I could see, well, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, X Plus is putting out some Beast from 20,000 Fathoms stuff. Now that means like the big statue is like $300, but then they're putting out a Defo Reel one that is like $90, $80, and so my birthday's coming up, and I usually buy myself like one ridiculous item for my birthday, and I'm actually leaning towards one of those Beasts from 20,000 Fathoms.
See, I'm thinking about treating myself to like a micro head.
That's for those non-guitar players. That is an amp. That's a term for an amp.
Yeah.
Or
just a tiny little lunchbox guy.
Right.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. But I don't know if you have not seen what that X Plus Beast from or Rhedosaurus, to make it easier, like looks like. It's fucking incredible looking. It's an amazing looking figure.
I don't doubt it.
And I like the Defo Reel one too, and I want some Rhedosaurus figure. There's not a lot, or there's like none. Basically, there's like one that's like super rare, that's like older and goes for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And so like this would actually be like the cheapest way to go. So I may treat myself to that. I don't know. Haven't decided yet.
If the government ever sends me like a stimulus check again, like maybe I'll get like an X Plus or something because I got like all the LJNs I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, once you go X Plus, it's hard to go back.
I mean, it's just a little out of my price range.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of my price range. Yeah. That's why I only have like a handful of them. But gotta make them count, though.
Gotta make them count. The lottery and it's like $1 billion, then I'll start collecting X Plus.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you have it, you just go like this is like the best thing ever. Yeah. Like it's like incredible how good.
Like I've seen the figures. I know the quality. It's real nice. I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna seek it out. Like the neck. That's why I like the neck is so much. It was just like good enough quality where I'm spending $23 on them. Mm-hmm. So
I think to wrap this up, whenever I see somebody with a huge X Plus collection, I just go like, wow, they must have so many NFTs.
There's gonna be a podcast from Rhode Island NFT coming out soon. We're really gonna try to get into that scene. Can
we just have our own cryptocurrency that we back ourselves?
Yeah, we're gonna have crypto. We're gonna have NFTs. We're really getting into that.
Yeah. Well, should we head to the kayfabe zone?
Yeah, why not? Just keep it all one segment. I don't feel like putting in two songs. pretty silent on my side of the island, but things are heating up. There's a big hoopla coming this weekend. It is the NECA World Order versus the Power Rangers.
Oh, is this like a winner-take-all type situation, or?
Unsanctioned. Power Rangers are not associated with the OIWF.
So it's lights out?
It's a lights out street fight.
Well, that's a big to-do right there.
Yeah. So it won't be no rings, no rules, just Power Rangers versus Godzilla.
Now, who's going to be representing the Power Rangers on their side?
On this side, it is going to be Megazord and Dragonzord.
Oh, and who is going to be defending or representing the NECA side of the world?
On the NECA side, it is Burning Godzilla, and it is GMK.
Well, that's two stalwarts right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have the two most iconic intercontinental champions of all time versus the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, literally. Well,
but you know, there's more members from each side, so anything can happen.
Of course, but you know,
but that'll be coming this so you probably already know what happened with it, but because it's happening this weekend because we're getting a big snowstorm.
Yes,
So I'm gonna be
it's
inside
a
all
perfect
day.
time to do that. So, well, we on my side of the island, we we are seeing the reemergence of Imperial Godzilla. Just, I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but he avenged his loss from a year ago.
Definitely saw it. I was
Against
shocked.
TMV, as we like to say. Trendmasters Varan, when he debuted a year ago, I mean, that was a big money signing, if you recall, a year ago. And I mean, he's one half the tag team champions. And Imperial Godzilla has been on a little bit of a roll. New attitude, new look. And he was down in his luck previously, but since he's come under the not at all sinister tutelage of Miss Namikawa and the World Toy Organization, it seems like he's just a new figure all around. And it was a hotly contested fight, but how about that? TMV goes to the flying squirrel splash. Out of nowhere, Imperial springs up, catches him with a stunner in midair.
I know I'm pretty sure I said this in the last episode, but this is like the best thing that's ever happened to the island.
And I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, he doesn't have tag team partners, but you got to think that sends a clear message to the tag team champs that perhaps the World Tour Organization has their eyes on some gold in the OIWF.
Wowie.
And we're going to have to see how that plays out.
Well, you got anything else going on?
No.
There's some pretty big news coming on my side of the island, but I have to wait a little while longer. There's stuff scores that need to be settled first before we can get there. But I think after the Power Rangers match, it's going to be a new season. There's going to be a little bit of a reboot.
No.
And you're going to be seeing a lot of things you never thought possible.
Oh, okay. Well.
Oh, I mean, you probably did, but like, I'm not very creative. It'll be fun to watch. Give me those 10 likes on Twitter, please.
Well, I guess to wrap things up, I would probably say you probably thought this episode was cruel.
It behaved.
You're supposed to say it was.
It was cruel.
It is. Camera reference.
I got it.
Oh, okay.
It took me a minute.
Well, there you go. There's the ending.
I botched that.
We'll leave it as is.
There you go, Matthew.